Hi everybody, Kim and Jed here.
Hi.
Coming to you from the backyard of the church in Germany. Yay! All the rest of the team and all the boys, everybody went to the Cinderella Castle. What's it called?
Neuschwanstein.
But our family stayed behind just to have a little family time. It has been a little bit of a hard week. It's been a week of high highs and low lows. Lots of emotions, bit of a roller coaster. The highs we'll start with is that Jed came back from Ukraine.
I'm back.
And he brought with him Masha from our team, who's like our social worker. She's been in Ukraine in the village on the homestead, helping with distributing humanitarian aid and helping me a bit with emails. But there isn't as much work for her to do there now, and we really needed her help. So she came back with Jed. And then Katya, who's the wife of Ruslan on our team, she was with us initially for like the first month here. She came back. So those two are here for a month to help us, and we're super thankful to have their help, the extra hands. And then another big bonus is that they brought our Bluebell to us.
Bluebell.
Bluebell. Oh, the crate's in the way. Bluebell is our most favorite dog. Don't tell the other one. We've had Bluebell for 6.5 years. A friend of ours she's an English Shepherd, and a friend of ours who breeds English Shepherds gave her to us after we adopted Vlad when we were in the States. The idea was kind of like that she would be a therapeutic dog for Vlad, but she's a therapy dog for all of us. All of us. All the boys love her.
But that's not an official.
No. I mean, she's not like certified. She doesn't have a special vest.
No vest.
She's just a village dog at this point, but she brings us so much joy, and she's such a comfort to us, and we're really
just
thankful.
Like a basic pet.
Why does he have to be difficult? She's therapeutic to us.
Well, like all pets are therapeutic. But
Not all pets are. Our other dog, I wouldn't call her therapeutic, hence leaving her in Ukraine. Yeah, so Bluebell is here with us, and Bimo especially was super happy to see her. And we're hoping that her presence here will bring some peace to our boys. I know it's brought a lot of joy already to our team. The only problem is that Bluebell is not leash trained, because she's never had to be, because she's a village dog and she runs free. But here she's learning how to be a city dog.
Yeah.
It's because you're Bluebell.
Bebe! Come on.
Oh, Bluebell could do for you. He's a good girl. You're so fat.
And Pinky's back home taking care of Tank of Bucha.
Yeah, Tank, the dog that was rescued from Bucha, that town near Kyiv that was destroyed by the Russians. Tank is at our house with Pinky, so we have 2 other dogs there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough. That's for all of you animal lovers out there. It has been a hard week. Our friend Sarah left. She's been with us for 2 months helping us. I think I told you guys about her last week. She left. It was super sad. We miss you, Sarah. She was so wonderful in every way. And then our boys are just not doing well.
Yeah.
They've done really well up until this point. I think I've said almost every single week, the boys are doing amazing, surprisingly amazing. Well, they're now doing surprisingly bad. Not surprisingly, it's not a surprise. I mean, all of us really want to be home, and this group living situation is we're super thankful for the church, so thankful that we have not had to worry about a place to stay. But I think it's about run its course. Our boys are regressing a lot. I told you last week that Bimo's hitting himself. Anton has been aggressive this week. Yaroslav doesn't want to come out of his room and didn't want to eat. Sasha didn't sleep last night. That's not a totally new thing. But just we're seeing some behaviors in them that we haven't seen for a long time. The stress of communal living, I think, is getting to them, and there's other problems that come with just all of us living together, where like if Yaroslav is screaming papa 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 all night long, and then Anton doesn't sleep, Anton wakes up angry and aggressive because he didn't sleep, but there's no way to keep them separate. And when Anton gets aggressive, you have to worry about keeping everybody else safe, and that's like even our little kids, our little Evie, and that's why he doesn't live with us. And so we had a meeting today with the pastor of the church here, and then another friend who's been helping us a lot here, and just trying to understand, like, what do we do next? And then there's housing here is super limited.
You can, even if there's something available, because it's such a difficult market, they're going to choose people that are maybe planning to stay for a year or two. So us having people with disabilities and wheelchairs and not knowing how long we're going to stay makes us not a very desirable tenant. So
Can't imagine why.
so
yeah, so there's that. Plus we're running into the problem of, like, in Germany, all of the social services that we've been receiving, or the help from the government, has been coming from this one government entity, and now it's all being switched over come June 1st to another entity, and it's all about jobs. Like, everybody has to be looking for jobs in order to receive help from the government, but we can't go look for jobs because we take care of our guys. So then if we don't look for jobs, like, then we don't get to still be a part of the system.
Right.
And then we can't afford to live here. And it's just like, we have to decide, do we really dig in here and like try to get the guys like qualified for disability, and then try to figure out how we can be paid to take care of them? Like,
start a German NGO or care providing organization. So
we just don't fit into the mold, like, at all, as usual. I mean, so we have to decide, do we stay in Germany? But like, if there's nowhere for us to live, then how do we stay here? And it's like tempting to go home because it's been quiet in our city, although our region was just struck again today or yesterday. Not near our house, but in our state. So, like, we have a place to live there. And, or do we go to Western Ukraine, where at least our team members and everybody could be independent? We know how the systems work. Or don't work, yeah. Like, we know what to expect at least, and we know how we fit into the world there. We would be closer to the border if things were to get even uglier than they already are. Like, what do we do? We're kind of feel like we're at a bit of a tipping point.
Can't plan. It's like this, you're in this in-between place, like an airport or something, where
the movie Terminal.
Yeah, you can't, being here, you can't plan ahead, you can't think, and it's hard to find your rhythm. Which foot do you start on? You know, how do you start walking?
And it's really daunting to try to figure out how to pave a way to receive the services we need here. We don't speak the language.
Not our culture.
And yeah, so that's where we're at.
Yeah. Fun times.
Super fun.
So.
I wish I had something more interesting to say.
Yeah.
Our dog is here.
Yeah.
And our Seth, who's been with his grandparents, with Jed's parents in Montana, comes to us in a couple weeks. Yeah. We're so excited about that. We have our friend Betsy, from Indiana coming to be with us for a couple months to help us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I asked you for prayer last week about it, but we need it. It feels like even more now because things can't continue as they are.
Yeah.
For our safety, for our sanity, for our team members. We're gonna have a team meeting tonight and just kind of see where everybody's at with all the different few options that we have.
Yeah.
So you just like wake up in the morning and you're just like, I don't want this to be my life.
Yep.
But usually if you would think that, you would just like do something to change it. It feels like you can't change it.
Yeah.
Really.
Because every decision from here on out is more of a long-term choice, you know, or a mid-term choice. Like, the choices we make now are going to affect, you know, the next year or two, potentially. And so, do we make a choice that embeds us here, or do we look at something in Western Ukraine, or do we think about going back to the States, or at least it's our home culture? But that doesn't even feel like our home culture anymore. So.
Well, we just know how things work there, and we know the language.
Yep.
So I feel like
at least reduce one stressor of, you know,
Yeah.
it's two cultures and not three.
right,
Yeah.
right. Now we're dealing with Ukrainian culture, American culture, German culture. I feel like we either need to, I feel like we need to be in Ukraine or possibly the States. But that just feels like to us to go back to the US, even though there's so many people obviously there that we love, most of you, it feels like 100 steps backwards
Yeah,
in the work we're doing here.
We want to improve the life of people that live in Ukraine, and we want to develop what we do in Ukraine. We want everything to be Ukraine. So,
And to be across the ocean from Ukraine feels devastating.
yeah, heartbreaking.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Pray for us. Please pray for Ukraine that this stupidity, nonsensical war would end.
Yeah.
It's ruining so many lives. I mean, our lives aren't ruined, but they're definitely upheaved.
No. And maybe it's not showing in the world news anymore, but every day our President Zelensky gives an update, and he says as we move into this third phase of the war, it's going to be the longest and the bloodiest, which is just, when he says bloodiest, you know, it means like your fellow Ukrainians are going to pay the price for freedom for all of us, and that feels heavier than I can bear, I can think about. So, yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks for tuning in to this week's depressing episode.
Well, we can't fake it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I feel tired of fighting for our guys.
Mm.
And so here it's like the thought of doing this uphill battle to fight for the rights here in Germany. It's like, why?
Yep.
Why?
Another layer.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah.
So, pray for our boys. They really need it. And for our team for wisdom, because it's a little bit of a hot mess here. So, yeah. All right. Hopefully next week will be less depressing. Hope you still like us. Bye.
Так, иди сюда. Ну-ка, давай. Раз, два, три.
Вова, давай. Yay, Vova!